Hello everyone, welcome to my chemistry channel BL Das Short and Sweet in Chemistry. Now I am going to the topic that is chemical activity related to 10th class, that is CBSE syllabus. Now this is part 11 where we will explain some activity with experiment, observation, inference, and the chapter is metals and non-metals. You know what is the main difference between metals and non-metals. Here we will see what happens about few crystals of copper sulfate in dry test to heat strongly. That means experiment you will take few crystals of copper sulfate in a test tube and heat it strongly. Now you know the copper sulfate, the color is blue. So if there is no water in the test tube, that is a dry test tube, then what happens here, you will observe on heating the blue color disappears. If blue color disappears, then what happens? The copper sulfate color changes to white. After adding water, if it is white, after one drop of water is added in the test tube, and then what is the change? The color changes to again blue. That means if copper sulfate that is blue color and there is water molecules, how many water molecules? 5 water molecules. That is hydrated form and the color is blue. Now on heating you will see the copper sulfate that is white color and water on adding water again it changes to blue. Inference here, copper sulfate having 5 molecules of water is blue color. On heating, this is dehydrated, and that is called anhydrous. Anhydrous molecule of copper sulfate is colorless. There is no water molecule in this salt, so it is called dehydrated salt, or you can say anhydrous copper sulfate. Actually, what is the name? This is called anhydrous copper sulfate. So you should write here anhydrous form. Anhydrous copper sulfate. That means here you can clear that when there is water molecule that having not only 5 molecules, then it is hydrated form, color is blue. When on heating the 5 molecules of water evaporated, the color gradually changes to colorless, and that is anhydrous copper sulfate. Again, when one drop of water is added in anhydrous form, it absorbs water molecule. It absorbs the water molecule and again changes from colorless to hydrated salt, that is blue color. The color changes to hydrated salt blue color. Here the color is blue color. So what is anhydrous form? Colorless. And what is hydrated salt? That is copper sulfate, 5 molecules of water, blue color. Then experiment 2. What is experiment 2? Take the given metals in different test tube. That means so many metals given to you, you will see and add given metals in different test tube and add here the dilute hydrochloric acid one by one. That means you will see what happens, the metals react to dilute HCl and what will produce, that produce all metals that will produce hydrogen gas. So you can know hydrogen is a gas, so you should write here G and arrow mark like this. That means it is hydrogen gas, arrow mark indicates. Now what happens, metals when react to dilute hydrochloric acid that produce hydrogen gas. Okay, and what is the next one is salt. Now here it is hydrochloric acid. So what is the salt? Magnesium chloride. Similarly aluminium chloride. What is the aluminium charge? +3 and it is -1. Magnesium +2, it is -1. Similarly, zinc react to dilute hydrochloric acid. Zinc, what is the charge? +2 and -1. So formula ZnCl2. What is the name? Zinc chloride. FeSCl, FeCl3. What is this one? Fe, the charge is +3 and Cl charge is -1. So all the metals gives hydrogen gas and its salt corresponding to acid. What is the acid? It is dilute HCl. So all salts are containing MgCl2, AlCl3 like this. Similarly, copper plus dilute HCl also it gives cupric chloride. What is the name? Cupric chloride and hydrogen gas. Cupric. So you should write cupric chloride. Now what happened here? Cupric chloride and hydrogen gas. It is G and arrow mark it indicates gas. And here since dilute HCl is used, so what is the charge here? +2 -1. Inference, what is the conclusion here? Magnesium and aluminum react vigorously. When you are dilute hydrochloric acid in each test tube, it is the observation last inference that magnesium and aluminum react vigorously. Very speedily that will react. Magnesium have highest temperature. Magnesium will react to dilute HCl. Highest temperature means it is an exothermic reaction. Reactivity order, that is magnesium is more reactive than aluminum, than zinc, than iron, than copper. That means copper is the least reactive, whereas magnesium is the highest reactive and copper is the lowest reactivity. That means you can observe which metal is very much active from this formula, from this reactivity order you can know. Next is come to reactivity 3, where experiment you will write here. Take a clean wire of copper and iron nail. That means you will take copper wire and iron nail. And iron nail that will act as a iron and copper wire that act as a copper. Put copper wire in a iron sulfate solution. You know iron sulfate solution. What is the color? The color of iron sulfate, that is greenish. So iron sulfate, generally ferrous sulfate is taken, so the color is green. What is the color? The color is green. And here what happened? Put iron nail in copper sulfate solution. So put copper wire in iron sulfate solution. Similarly, iron nail in copper sulfate solution. That means copper, when you take copper wire, you will take ferrous sulfate solution. When you take iron nail, you will take copper sulfate solution. That is oppositely, you will add or you will try to dip in the test tube. Then what is the observation? Gradually after 20 minutes you can see the color of the solution gradually changes. Here the blue color changes to light green. Why light green? Because light green is the color of the ferrous sulfate. That means here you can observe the color changes to light color, light green. Light green means ferrous sulfate, FeSO4. When you add iron nail to copper sulfate solution, here you will change green color. What is the meaning? Displacement reaction takes place. But when you add copper in iron sulfate solution, there is no such reaction. In this, where you are adding iron in copper sulfate, that means displacement reaction takes place. In the test tube, what happened? The iron nail is displaced in copper sulfate solution. That means when there is a copper sulfate solution, iron changes to copper, and that means it will displace reaction. It is a displacement reaction when iron is displaced in copper sulfate solution. That the solution changes to, what will change? It changes to a ferrous sulfate solution. So what happened here? You will add in copper sulfate solution, okay, and add your iron nail, and the solution changes to ferrous sulfate, that is green color. Iron is more reactive than copper, that is why, which is more reactive, that will displace other in the reaction. That means iron is more reactive than copper. That is why iron, when dipped in copper sulfate solution, easily iron can displace the copper, and it is that iron. So product is iron sulfate, and that is why the blue color of the copper sulfate changes to light green ferrous sulfate color. Now see the reaction, copper sulfate, that here it is a solution, blue color, and that is why I should write aqua or solution. It is soluble in water and the color is blue. Iron, that is a solid one, iron piece. Now you are adding now ferrous sulfate, that is a soluble in water, but it is green color. Actually it is not totally green, that is light green. What you write? Light green, and copper is solid. Now here what happened? A copper sulfate when treated with iron nail, then it changes to ferrous sulfate, that is a displacement reaction, and copper. Then come to activity 4. Are you clear? I think. What is displacement reaction? When iron is more reactive than copper, then only iron can displace copper and changes to ferrous sulfate. Activity 4. Now take a test tube A, B, C in the with rubber cork. Now what you will take? Here A, B, C. Now you will see the rusting of iron, how it takes place. You should know rusting of iron, how it takes place and when it did not takes place. That means in what absence the iron nail never rusting, and that is why you take 3 iron nails and add in 3 that is test tube with rubber cork. Add water in the test tube A. Simple water using tap water like this. You will add to test tube A where one iron nail is there. The next one, that is B. Add a boiled distilled water. Boiled distilled water, that means there is no oxygen. In the test tube B and few drops of oil. That oil is protective, and that means that layer will divide the outer side and inside the water. That means here few drops of oil becomes a layer over the water. Third is test tube C. Then add some anhydrous calcium chloride. What is anhydrous? There is no water in the calcium chloride. No water molecule in the calcium chloride. That is called anhydrous. That you will put in test tube C. Again see, in first test tube only simple water that are using in tap water, that is by tap water you add, and next is distilled water with 2 drops of oil, and third is anhydrous calcium chloride. Now you think for some time, you cork all the test tube properly and tight and leave them undisturbed for a few days, because rusting is not takes place in 1 or 2 days. So minimum will put 1 month or 15 to 30 days. That means you observe what happened. Now you think yourself, when in test tube A simply water is added, that means here oxygen is available, water is available, and then what happened? Second one is boiled distilled water. There is no oxygen, and here few drops of oil is added. That is why few drops of oil, what will do? It will protect from outer side atmosphere. Now that means oxygen is not there because it is boiled distilled water. And third one, you will add anhydrous calcium chloride, and there is no water and there is no oxygen because it is covered with a cork, tight cork. That is why no oxygen, no water in test tube C. And here what happened? Cork these tubes properly and leave them undisturbed. Then what is observation? In first there is water. The nails placed in the tube A are rusted and they are unaffected in the tubes B and C. Yes, B and C there is no affecting towards the nail, because nail that is iron nail, and here it will not rusted. Why? Because B there is only distilled water with 2 drops of oil, and C anhydrous calcium chloride. That means there is no oxygen and water free. If the water is free and water is supplied and oxygen is supplied, automatically the nails become to a rusting started and it become rusted. Then inference, what is the meaning? What is the conclusion? In test tube A, the nails are exposed to water and air, because it is simple water. The water contains oxygen and itself it contains liquid water. So water and air both are helpful for rusting. Then come to, if you will go to second test tube, when oily layer above water does not allow air to come inside the water. So that means the nail never come contact with the air and also water, and so they are not rusted. Whereas C, there is anhydrous calcium chloride. Anhydrous calcium chloride absorbs the entire moisture what is present in test tube. So nails are not rusted. What is the conclusion? Both air and water helps in the rusting of iron. Both air and water helps for the rusting of iron. So here in this activity we want to show how the nails are rusting and how it is rusted by the help of water and oxygen. In test tube B there is no the water is boiled water and there is no air. That is why it never rusted. C also, it is anhydrous calcium chloride, which will absorb all the moisture inside the test tube C. So in test tube C, what nails are present, they will be never rusted. So I hope it is clear. Metal and non-metal chapter is already completed. If any doubt, you can refer the book, any reference book or NCERT book. See the other reaction. If it is possible to do in your lab by the help of chemistry teacher, chemistry lab attendant, you can do any experiment which is possible in your chemistry lab. I hope you will subscribe my channel BL Das Short and Sweet in Chemistry.